So right now, I'm gonna have some fun, and I'll be responding to some really bad science. In fact, I can't really call it a science because it's really not. Let's see how stupid this is.
The whole picture, but this will do for our purposes. The colors from NASA are not true. The colors represent heights, tectonic heights.
That's true so far.
Down the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. The lowest, newest land is blue. Why do I say newest? Because the upper higher land pulled apart and revealed the underland. Call it the newer land. Why newer, and how do I know? Actually, all scientists...
Actually, the blue is just lower elevation. There's nothing to do with the age. There's nothing to do with the age. But whatever.
Look at the craters. As time goes by, for the older land, you get more and more accumulation of craters.
But yeah, it's because... So this point is just kind of dumb. And the reason why... So Mars has some areas where there's less craters. The main reason why is actually volcanism. In some areas of Mars, there's some younger volcanism. Some areas there's older volcanism. Some areas of Mars have a lot of the ground exposed is older. In the areas of younger volcanism, a lot of the lava has covered up the craters. So...
This higher red and orange land is older with lots more craters. This green to blue land is newer with far fewer meteor craters. So it's younger. This is the Valles Marineris. I've focused on it because it's the greatest, deepest, and newest rifting and spreading on Mars. This rift is as wide as the United
That's true, this is a rift. A very large rift.
States, but you see, as Mars grew, this rift pulled apart all around. This pulling away made a big circle of pulling apart. The relief of this spreading that made this possible is the young, new, blue area. So quite simply...
And this is where his argument completely falls apart. So he's assuming that this right here, and this, and all this is a tectonic plate boundary. In reality, it's not. This right here is actually an ancient river valley. This right here is associated with that, and the whole top of the planet Mars was probably hit by a huge impact a long time ago, and that's why the northern regions of Mars have a lower elevation. Valles Marineris actually might be a tectonic plate boundary. There is some evidence for it being a pull apart, a rift zone, and a strike slip, and having some strike slip movement. And there is some evidence of that. But this right here is just a river. It's just an ancient river, just a dry river with nothing to do with tectonic plate. So.
To go back in time, we close back over this blue, young area, and the upper plates will tighten back around this upper veil.
Except these aren't plates.
And even the Marineris will close. The blue...
Except... Oh my god.
Young area disappears, covered by the older land. Now we can go forward in...
Except in reality, a lot of the youngest area of Mars is actually this purplish area right here. And if you were to look a little farther west, you would see some pretty young material. The material around here is the Farsis province. Huge area of a relatively young volcanism. And young by Martian terms means about less than 500 million years.
Time as Mars grows up to today. The blue opens and the land tugs and some...
So how come this looks exactly like a river valley? Explain that. Obviously you can't explain it, but...
pieces break off into, well, islands if there was water, there is no other way that this plate area could come to this configuration.
Actually, there's lots of ways it could come to this configuration. You still know for sure how Valles Marineris formed. If Mars is changing in size, some people have suggested it might be it might have shrunk slightly, but it's not growing. But chances are, though, hasn't really changed very much. And this is a river valley. I've already explained that. It's nothing to do with plate tectonics or tectonics in general. And those little islands he mentioned those little islands he mentioned are not islands. They're just large faulted blocks, pretty much.
Unless Mars grew. Thank you.
So Mars is not growing. The only area of Mars that's grown at all is the Pharsis region, which is called the Pharsis bulge for a reason, but that hasn't actually changed the mass of the planet or made the planet actually bigger. It's made a little bulge because of a huge surge in volcanism. But there's nothing. But overall, no, Mars is not growing, and Valles Marineris is not formed by an expanding Mars. It's a rift zone. I mean, we still don't know for sure how Valles Marineris formed, how the actual canyon itself formed. We're still not 100% sure. There's multiple different theories. But no, Mars is not growing. Thank you for listening.